Hey, welcome to another Mad Chats and Recaps with myself and Tasha.
Yeah.
Tasha, so glad to have you. Tasha's
Mhm.
sporting the Sandman vibe today. Um,
The,
Lovely.
the best. It's the best.
Wonderful. So we are back at you with some Mad Chats and Recaps for the week of 29th through August the 29th through September the
Yes.
4th of 2022. We'll start off with what we always start off with, the Forsaken, which is every Monday night. So last week, a bit discombobulated after the resurrection of Addie, Gerbil's dead wife, and Geneva, Aurelius's once assistant, everyone regroups to figure out what to do after they leave the Northern Crown. Juniper stays behind in the mansion for a nap, while the others go looking for information. Speaking with Daft, Zephyr's tabaxi brother, they try to convince him to give them the time device that he has, to which Daft seems reluctant. After some discussion with Nadronal, they find out that the tabaxi may be more trustworthy than they imagined, and to decide to approach him once more, he asks that in exchange of access to the time device, if they will help him rescue Zephyr, which is someone who used to travel with the party, from the library once they're ready. They agree, and afterwards, Agnes Alpin approaches them with a strange offer to travel with them for a time in order to experience the world. Meanwhile, Juniper and Zafar head up the mountain to fetch the Warforged, who has now been awakened by Miki and added to the Warforged network created by Arbane. The Warforged now calls himself asleep and is ready to help the party wherever he can.
He named himself Asleep.
Yes, because when he was first awakened, uh, Juniper was telling him, like, oh, you were asleep. And he was like, asleep? Juniper was like, yes, asleep. So, and
Makes sense.
asleep is Jonathan's new character.
Asleep.
Yeah, so Jonathan's now playing a Warforged who is just now waking up.
Oh,
Yeah,
that should be fun.
yeah.
That should be
He
fun.
played him really well. It was funny, super cute. So what happened on last week's The Penumbra Assembly, Tasha?
So, the morning brings a wonderful breakfast and the departure of Quinn and his wizard friend Carl Jr., not to be confused with Carl's Jr., to their other plane. As the adventurers leave the inn with the intention of making their way, finally, towards the forest, a delicate, cloaked figure approaches them and says that Lady Amicure wants to speak to them. Talking a few minutes to suss out their true intentions, the group follows the cloaked figure to the Royal Theater in the theater district of Amicure. There, they are taken to a back changing room and to a face to face with Lyra. Just as jumpy and frightened as before, the group hesitantly warn her about the guards in the city and that they could be hiding things from her. They find out more about the setup of Amicure, as well as who the guards report to. In exchange for her trust, she asks them to investigate the forest, saying that her guards won't allow her or her assistant in there. The group agrees just as guards burst into the theater. Panicked, Lady Lyra's assistant, Satara, asks everyone to follow her to outrun them on their way to the forest. After a lengthy chase, they finally outpace them and make it to a secluded edge of the fenced off forest and eventually inside. Traveling deeper in, a hawk seemingly guides them to the remnants of a village. Inside one of the homes, they find a journal making some sort of calamity that happened around, or marking, sorry, some sort of calamity that happened around 15 years ago. The strange thing is that everyone had said that the plane is only 10 years old. What?
Da, da,
What?
da!
What?
Yeah, that was a fun reveal. I love it.
That's exciting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
Wonder what'll
I
happen.
know. I know. Yeah. And the hawk that led them in there was like in the house and just kind of like sat down beside them in the house that they found the journal in.
Oh,
So it's
I
interesting.
love it.
It's
I
interesting.
love it.
Like
It's
the
probably the same hawk that was on my fence yesterday,
oh
or a
probably
falcon,
that's it.
or
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
That was something.
Excellent. So on last Saturday's In Extremis, we didn't have In Extremis or Obsidian Scar this past week, so we'll give you recaps from the week before. Last Saturday's In Extremis, our sky pirates finished making their way across the desert to reach the town of Purity Plains. This is telling me to activate the markers, so I will do so. Yeah, maybe. Here we go. Nope. Okay.
We're professional.
After finding it to be a ghost town, they took a long rest and did a little further investigation. Lisanna found a perfectly balanced town sign and gave it a spin or two before returning it to the saloon. She also found some interesting booze that gave her a several-hour buzz and a firing burp. Brilith and Sinister also tested the booze before heading over to the giant stairwell built inside the town's massive well. Reaching the bottom, they found a long cave carved into the stone that brought them to the grand city of Vathanaloke. Here they discovered that Vic's parents were among the Whispers. People vanished from the city after claiming to hear strange whispers in the days prior. The sacred texts also stolen away. The crew spoke with the mayor and volunteered to help to find Vic's parents and the missing people, and set off to do so at the end of the season. Session. Not season.
Same thing. Same thing. Yep.
So yeah.
Still impressed with the pronunciation of the city because
I mean,
wow,
we've said it a couple of times now, so I feel very sure of it now.
Good.
Yeah. Brilith and Lisanna were pretty drunk for a bit, a little giggly. People were tying them, like using ropes to tie them to like another person, so that way they wouldn't fall into the stairwell. Probably a smart idea.
It's very smart.
Yeah. So on last Sunday's Obsidian Scar, Tasha, what went on?
I don't know. So our heroes, deep in the crypts of Kellenvor, under his great temple in the Cassadothian Pass, worked quickly to navigate through its winding passages to find the relic Lashana required for the trade they bargained with her. After a suspiciously easy escape with their bounty, they parted ways to prepare for their departure to Harassa. The next days were spent shopping, writing, searching for the mysteriously disappearing tieflings, having terrible nightmares filled with blood and the undead. Yes, more shopping and chocolate cake. Jules, after months of accumulating the necessary components and studying the ancient infernal texts with Linnet, finally casts the first spell from the Tome of Great and Terrible Powers. Almost costing him his life, he emerged from the ritual exhausted, an ever-growing halo of dark matter surrounding him. But with a mind so vast, none of the Isles could dare rival him. Hoping to recover in the safety of the Sea Ward, the crew set out for a slow but safer course towards their home base in Harassa, only to be intercepted by an airship of the Aristilian Empire, seemingly in pursuit of Ileana.
Yeah.
I mean, why not?
Why not?
Why not?
I still don't remember the chocolate cake, but I didn't remember it last week. I don't remember it this week. I don't know where the chocolate cake came from, but I must have completely been I was
Drunk?
drinking, so I probably
I was right.
kind of missed that.
Right.
I was buzzed for sure.
So proud.
Thanks. So that wraps up our recap. So we don't really have any announcements. We have the merch store still happening, still working on stuff for that. We don't have any birthdays, I think, this past week. I will say in a couple of weeks, not this week's Penumbra Assembly, but next week's Penumbra Assembly. So I think that's the 14th of September. We're actually going to have a guest on the Penumbra Assembly for an episode. So super excited about that. Mark your calendars. And yeah. All right. Well, that's all we got for you. We'll see you in Twitch. We'll see you in Discord. And we'll see you next time. All right.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
Dan's porn acting disc.
1.
Yep.
We're live. Hi. Welcome. I believe you said that after your audio was live, Ed, so that's cool. Welcome to the Penumbra Assembly. Oh my gosh, I didn't get any music today. Well, here, let's just grab something really quick. Let me just reach under the desk. All right, there we go. Welcome to another The Penumbra Assembly episode. Where are we at now?
12.
12. That's it. Thank you. Did I put the title right? Yes, I did.
A dozen whole episodes.
Thank you.
Even dozen. Baker's. Well, not tomorrow. Next one will be a baker's dozen.
Yeah. All right. So, I'll go ahead and start with the recap from last week, and then we'll do the inspiration roll after Dan gets back.
Let's.
So, recap from episode 11, shall we? The morning brought a wonderful breakfast and the departure of Quinn and his wizard friend Carl Jr. to their other plane. As adventurers leave the inn with the intention of making their way finally towards the forest, a delicate cloaked figure approaches them and says that Lady Amikir wants to speak to them. Taking a few minutes to suss out this person's true intentions, the group follow the cloaked figure to the Royal Theater in the theater district of Amikir. There, they're taken to a back changing room and to a face-to-face with Lyra. Just as jumpy and frightened as before, the group hesitantly warn her about the guards in the city and that they could be hiding things from her. They find out more about the setup of Amikir as well as who the guards report to. In exchange for her trust, she asks them to investigate the forest, saying that her guards won't allow her or her assistant in there. The group agree, just as guards burst into the theater. Panicked, Lady Lyra's assistant, Satara, asks everyone to follow her to outrun them on their way to the forest. After a lengthy chase, they finally outpace them and make it to a secluded edge of the fenced-off forest and, eventually, inside. Traveling deeper in, a hawk seemingly guides them to the remnants of a village. Inside one of the homes, they find a journal marking some sort of calamity that happened around 15 years ago. The strange thing is that everyone has said that the plane is only 10 years old. That's it. That brings us to this week's session of the Penumbra Assembly. So, my friends, and just for viewers and for the players who didn't hear, we won't have an Alec. Not of course, but we won't have an Alec tonight, unfortunately. Busy with life stuff. But everyone roll for inspiration, please, and put it in the Zoom chat when you do. Draxlin got a 4. Dagos got a 1. Oof.
Get it out of the way now.
Yeah, please, yeah.
I've got a 16 and Yvonne got a 19. All right, let me see who's the closest. That would be Lev because I rolled a 13.
Nice, Lev.
So you're the closest. So Lev has inspiration for it tonight. Congratulations, you won.
Tell him what he's won.
A hot day. That's what you've won.
Yeah.
Oh,
baby.
no.
Oh, baby. Okay. Well, just to bring us up to this week's session. So, y'all had wandered into an abandoned village of sorts. Well, abandoned except for animals. Following a hawk into one of the houses. The hawk was still inside the house when you approached it and got inside. I think some mice ran out. But the hawk seemed very, really rather docile, compared to how hawks would usually behave. Just kind of stayed in the chimney, flew out and landed on one of the chairs right beside of a table that you looked into. I think Levy used your mage hand, right, to open the drawer to get the journal out at least. I think, yeah. And inside the journal, as you're flipping through it, you saw the information of it seemed to be from a person's perspective, like almost like a diary, talking about the city, and talking about the two rulers, Lady Lord Kalen and Lord Callan and Kasula, Lady Kasula, who were the rulers at the time, talking about how that Kasula went missing. And then a lot of the townspeople started going missing. This is just you flipping through through the journal. And then kind of ended very abruptly, without really this is the end of the journal, or like even getting to the end, but about 60% of the way through it, it just kind of ends on one day and doesn't continue. The hawk is still sitting in that chair on the other side of the table. I think Kazil. I think Dako sat in a chair as well, I believe. There you go. It is about still probably like late morning, early day outside, probably late morning.
Okay.
Actually, wait a minute. Y'all had actually went. You went to the
did
theater.
breakfast, yeah.
You had breakfast. You went to the theater. You had the meeting with Lara. Then the guards. Then the chase through the city. You got here. You got through the fence. You got to here. So actually, it's probably later it's probably like a late day, getting close to early evening.
Okay. But mysteries abound, don't they? 15 years ago, 12, 15, and the plane should only be 10.
Well, no, people said they came here 10 years ago. They thought they were coming to a new plane.
Yes.
Interesting.
But it turned out to be previously used.
Indeed. That people seem to disappear here, like the pets of the current city.
Do you think this Fey Lord, this father, just keeps doing the same thing over and over?
Entirely possible.
I've heard all sorts of strange stories about the Fey and odd motivations and such. I mean, is this just one of those stories that they're just playing an elaborate game with people's lives?
A quick DM question.
Sure.
Steph, do we know what type of Fey or what level of Fey that the dad is? Have we heard that in game?
No, you have not heard that in game. You recognize.
I recognize them, so I know. Okay. I think.
But I don't think that you know the level. You've just heard of them.
Thank you. I'll take a second message you, Elaine.
Okay, sure. Yeah, that's fine. You hear some other birds and in the distance outside. See a mouse kind of peek in, then run back out. Yes, correct.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, this particular her father, the name rings somewhat of a bell. I feel that I've heard somewhere in passing. They're indeed well, I don't know their role in current society. They're an archfey. And archfey are known to be very yes, games, toying with mortals, for entertainment, simply because it pleases them. Not all, mind you, but plenty.
I think this is definitely something, and Yvonne will say this out loud,
Mm.
that we should write in our books.
Yes.
Because I think maybe some of the answers we're looking for may be more accessible on the material plane.
Oh, yes. Oh, boy. I think I had my book out actually a little bit last week, Alex, so I'll just add that to the notebook.
Maybe, I mean, I think this is the kind of information that Accordion was looking for in a way.
Sure.
Could be.
Yeah.
It does make me wonder if the artifact we're looking for has been here perhaps more than 10 years.
Indeed.
So many questions.
Yes.
It's such an interesting puzzle, don't you think?
I agree. I wish it didn't have to do with so many people's lives, but it does seem like quite an enigma.
Well, yes.
I'm looking forward to getting to the bottom. I'll also add, of course, that Archway typically only do things that suit them or benefit them in some way. Often, not always. So, there might be something that the father's getting from this game. Strange.
Well, there's certainly all sorts of strange magic going on here.
Yes.
Beyond our understanding.
Does anyone recall whether or not the Lady Amekir's father was privy to the knowledge that this second demiplane was going to be created?
Not that I remember.
I don't think so, but it's a fair question because we do know that the two magics are interacting very strangely.
Yes, indeed.
In any case, I think we should gather up the journal for both purposes, for Lady Amekir and for Accordia.
Yes. I think perhaps some of us should check the other houses. If they're uninhabited, perhaps more clues, other journals. Some other clues to what happened here. Quick DM question. When we look around this house, are there like bowls on the table and like things where something just happened like that? It kind of looks like,
Yeah,
you know, it's not like
I
they
think
packed
I
up
mentioned that. I think I mentioned that last week. Was that it looks like people just kind of
Yeah, Dan.
I'm not.
Crushed.
Listen, I'm just saying that. Like I did. I think I said it last week.
Already told you, Dan. Oh my god.
I believe she did.
But yeah. So it looks like that they just got up and left. May I also ask what you wrote in the book?
I think I said last week. No, I'm just kidding.
You did. Yeah, you did say it last week. Yes.
I said I'm putting every bit of knowledge that we've learned here. I was just like paragraph, like an essay. Anything that we've encountered, any names, the whisper, the how the guards are being shady, the new person, all the way up to finding finding this place, finding the journal, and the disparity in years.
To save time, Yvonne writes everything that Dako's just said in the journal in Yvonne's journal, but it's only one sentence.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
I've got so many pages. Yeah.
That's amazing.
We woke up this morning and then we met this nice lady Lyra and she works for Lady Kaylin, and then we followed Hawk. But wait, before that, blah blah blah. And on it goes. Just on and on and on.
One large run on. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Okay, yeah. It's good.
Okay. And that it seems people just disappeared out of the blue, which as I'm writing it, it is extra strange that all these dishes are about and things are just left as though people was snapped away or left in lawful hurry.
Well, I do think we should check the other buildings, but also we should keep an eye on the animals because they seem very interesting, don't you think?
Oh yes, a friend here. There's the
Yeah,
the
still
bird's
sitting
here.
there. In fact, as you say that, you hear ah ah, and I'm sorry, Boo, but the cat looked at me like, "What the fuck, Stephanie? Please,
Are you prey?
I'm
Yeah.
trying to sleep here." But as you say that, you look up and see, as you hear that, you see another hawk standing in the doorway with its ah ah, and then. The other hawk, yeah, the other hawk that's sitting beside you, Dakos, are sitting near you. Will get down off of the chair and start squawking back at it a little bit, like not as alarmingly, like a little bit more calmly. And it seems like they're communicating with each other. And eventually, the other hawk that just flew in starts to kind of like settle, but still watching the rest of you very intently, while the other hawk gets back in the chair and just kind of settles in.
Giovanni will bow at both of the hawks.
Okay.
And then
follow
we'll
suit.
kind of skip off to look for another house.
Okay.
See if there's other interesting treasures to find.
All right.
I'll head with you. In suit. I'll bow. Like, oh, all right. I guess I trust Giovanni. This is what we do. And then
Why?
stop. Yeah. Nice. I'll follow him to investigate, but I'll stop next to the other one. Like, you don't speak common, do you? Your friend doesn't.
So for background, Giovanni rolled a terrible nature roll last week, so I'm
The
trying not
right.
to read too much into the end.
The hawk will you're talking to the hawk that's kind of like a little like just watching y'all. Ah!
Is the bird lying? Not just kidding. And I'm being
Listen.
totally silly. Yeah.
Inside check a squawk. Okay. All right.
You just kind of like raise up its wings a bit as it does that and settle them back down.
I suppose not. Well, thank you for your assistance. Catch you soon. I'll follow.
Kind of cock its head and like look at you as you start to turn.
Oh, yeah. Look, I'm used to it. It's all right. I'll just follow Giovanni.
Give another cry as you head out. Is anyone staying inside the house or is everyone leaving?
I would follow Giovanni as he headed
Okay.
out.
Lev, you're heading out too?
Heading out, yep.
Okay. You're it now. Yeah.
Still am.
All right.
No,
So,
but stick with it. Yeah.
outside of the house, what are y'all? You're wanting to kind of look around in the other houses to see if you can find anything?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Make perception checks for me, please, everyone who's doing that.
Oh,
Okay. Dakos?
25.
Oh, Giovanni?
Mm-hmm.
20.
Oh.
Lev?
20 on the rocks.
Okay. Yeah, so
That's awesome.
Dakos, you step in some pretty gnarly poop as you step out of the house. It looks pretty big. It's a pretty big chunk.
Nice. So much
So
for
you
a 25 perception.
Oh wait, no, who was it that got the low score? Someone got a low one.
Yeah, I don't want to admit it.
I gotta tell you
well then
now.
it's not Dakos, it's Drexlin. Then I'm sorry, that was a name slip on my
It's
part.
like I must have decided to
I
step
meant-
in it because
I meant Drexlin, not Dakos. I'm sorry.
Okay,
Drexlin.
no.
So you step out of the house and you step into some poop, pretty big pile of it.
Crap.
Completely throws you off.
No.
There's crap here.
The other three of you.
Starts scraping off his spoon on the floor and the ground.
The other three of you.
Anybody got prestidigitation?
I honestly checked, and then I'm like, no, wrong characters.
The other three of you will start to kind of like look around and kind of glance in the other houses. If you want to make more thorough investigations, we'll cover that in a second. But just looking around, there are about, let's see here. Y'all went over to here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 others, 6 other houses here in this one little cluster. And so there's a road kind of leading out and also a road leading to the side as well. Not including the road that you came in on. See about 6 other houses. You do see other kind of wildlife as well. You see some birds here and there, kind of sweeping in and out of the trees. You'll see some squirrels kind of on the other side near one of the other houses. Looks like maybe a family of squirrels. You do hear I would say what most of you recognize as a bear somewhere in the vicinity. Actually, Drexlin, make a nature check for me.
Sure. That's a 3.
Okay. Yeah, never mind. Looks like poop. I was going to tell you what the poop belonged to, but just poop.
Yep.
And, yeah. There are probably about 3 other houses that look like that you can kind of go into if you wanted to, like you did the one you just stepped out of. You'll hear kind of a click against concrete, and behind you, one of the hawks will have kind of like are just standing in the doorway of the house that you just left, watching you. Is there anyone that's wanting to, are all 3 of you wanting to look into one of these houses?
Through all of them, I think.
Okay. All right. Why don't you make investigation checks for me, please, then? And then you rolled the highest with the perception, right, Dakos? Like you rolled a 25, I think. So you probably would have seen the bear kind of standing in, kind of off to the side behind one of the houses.
Oh,
So
okay.
Watching the group.
Okay.
Investigation check for Lev, please.
19.
Okay. And Yvonne?
13.
And Dakos?
15.
And Drexen, why don't you make an investigation check as well?
I did. 13.
Okay. Okay. What was yours was 15, Dakos?
Yes.
Okay. So I would say, are y'all tackling each house individually or each one as a group?
Lev, what's your guidance?
I would think that we should stay together.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Wise.
Drexler would definitely stay with Giovanni and Lev.
Okay. Well, Giovanni walks into a house without checking what anybody else is doing, so it's up to you guys to follow, I guess.
Yeah, we'll follow. I'll
Yep.
follow.
Okay.
When we get inside, I'll just let everyone know. Oh, there's a bear, by the way, behind the houses on the edge of the forest. Just watch us currently.
All right. So in one of the houses, you do find, and it's all the 3 that you're checking in. I'll just go and group them together. All seem to be the same kind of setup of everything is, it's dilapidated. It's been left for a bit. Looks like, I think Daco said about 15 years during her session last week. But items are still about. There's still like tea on the end tables. A cup of tea that's now, of course, dried up. The tea's not still in it. But it just looks like people just kind of left. Books open at in chairs. And you also find let's see here, a flyer that is for a citywide celebration that is marked for 20 years ago from the current calendar time.
In the name of the city?
It's still called Amicure.
Oh, okay.
And let's see, you'd find some other journals. Speaking of similar things, if you glance through them, which I would assume that you would if you found something like a journal, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Mhm.
Let me see. I'm just reading through some information here to see like what you would pick up from those. You would notice that a couple of the journals you find would talk of part of the forest being off limits. And that the, let's see, yeah, part of the forest was off limits, the eastern portion. You would see again where Kosula disappeared, but then later was pronounced dead. You would see information where people didn't really like Lord Calum. A lot of people speculate about Kasula's death, on the reasons behind, since she disappeared first and then was pronounced dead. More about townspeople disappearing, and most of them end. I would say that you'd probably, Lev, you rolled a 20-some, right?
19.
19, but I think that was the highest, I believe, of the three of you, or four of you. So you might not see that. Yeah. And just other little knickknacks, maybe some things dated, possibly some different dates on things up to about between, I think the oldest thing you would find would be dated back about 70 years ago, 80 years ago.
$70, 80 years ago.
Yeah. In one of the houses, the family of squirrels will be keeping a very close eye on you. And almost like one of them will follow you into each room as you're walking through, almost like keeping an eye on you and what you're doing. When you start looking through one of the journals in that house, it will start chattering at you.
Oh.
And start like running around your feet.
Giovanni, you seem to have some wonderful insight with the animals. Everything else here is older than we expected. Can you tell if these creatures too are older than their natural lifespan? I've seen many strange things, but these creatures seem to be behaving as though we're in their homes, and I'm just curious. Oh, maybe they're previous denizens.
Oh, what an interesting question. Yeah, I might be able to do something. I suppose I could measure the ratio of the length of their claws. No. Archdruid Zechariah has proved that was a myth. Oh, I know what I could try. And Giovanni gets down on his knees and tries to like examine the squirrels, even though they're probably completely not interested in being examined. And I'll just roll nature.
Okay. Yeah, as you start to like kneel down, it'll start to like, it's still like whoever like picked up the journal, it's still like chattering about their feet, but then will notice you, Giovanni, and will start to like kind of like go under a dilapidated bed that's kind of half broken down.
That was an 11.
Okay. Okay. The squirrel, give me 1 second here. Let me just look at something really quick.
The squirrel is a worse squirrel and bites Giovanni. Giovanni becomes a worse squirrel.
So squirrels, as you know, Giovanni, usually live up to, at the most, like 10 years. This one looks to be about probably like a 6-7-year-old squirrel. Like it's been, well, I mean that it's been alive for 6 or 7 years. That would be what you could tell with that roll.
Okay. This
Like
This
an adult squirrel.
this particular one
Hmm.
seems like it's passed into middle age.
Oh.
Perhaps roughly the equivalent of my mother in years. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Oh.
Maybe that's a bad analogy because you've never met my mother.
Haven't.
Yeah, let's say it's lived more than half of its expected lifespan, but is by no means, from appearances, any older than that. Now, how old it actually is?
Yes.
Alas,
I
I don't
wish-
have any magic on me to speak with it. But...
Oh.
Hello, squirrel. How old are you?
Oh. Can you write it? Can you spell it out with acorns? And I'll try and find acorns to pull together.
No.
There you go. Just arrange them in the number of years you are.
There are no
One for
acorns
each
in here.
year.
There are no acorns in here,
Okay.
Dacos.
Pebbles.
It's going to. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Drexlin.
Drexel would take a knee
Oh.
and just hold out his hand. If you haven't always been a squirrel, crawl into my hand. I mean you no harm.
Make a persuasion check, Drexlin.
Sure. 22.
Okay. The squirrel will kind of look at you, Drexlin, and just kind of seemingly like calm down for a bit, and you'll see its nose kind of twitch back and forth. And then it will kind of like slowly like go up to your hand and like look at it and sniff it and kind of like look at you and look at everyone else really quick and quickly like jump in your hand.
Okay.
Oh.
Drexel will give it a quick scritch on the back of its neck. I'm sorry to hear that. What can we do to help? Oh, and it's like
It doesn't seem to
Yeah.
like the
Spell it out with these
scritch.
pebbles.
It doesn't seem to like you petting
Okay.
it. Like it's
Sorry.
like, you know, and kind of like gets a little like doesn't jump out of the hand, but gets a little defensive for a second. But will, you know, as you talk to it, will calm down a bit.
I'll say to the is there some other member of this little community that can possibly talk to us? We mean no harm again.
Lead the way. We
Make
might
it-
be able to help you.
Make another. Oh no, you rolled pretty well in your last one. It will kind of look at you for a second and will quickly jump off of your hand suddenly and like sprout out the door.
Lev, is there any spell that you know of that could do anything like this? Perhaps something you learned in school?
Ooh boy, not that kind of wizardry, but yeah, maybe some high level magic that would transform a creature from one type to another.
Well,
Well-
we're on a demi-plane. Perhaps this whole thing is magic.
Hmm.
At the beginning of the discussion, Drexel would have chased after the squirrel.
Okay.
Oh,
Right.
oh, Jackson, wait! No. I'll
Squirrel.
scooch out after. Yeah. Nice.
So as Drexlin, you bound out the door. Deko's fast on your heels. You'll see the squirrel kind of like quickly, like by the time you get outside, it's already kind of like almost across the the small village here. And you'll see it go directly towards Dakos. When you exit, you'll see that it's in the area where that bear was before. And you'll see it kind of like chittering to something around the corner because it's a little out of your sight right now. So it's kind of behind another dilapidated building. And you'll see the squirrel kind of chittering. Like, and you'll hear kind of like some low grumbles, like And you'll see the bear kind of peek its head out from behind the building and look towards the group. And the squirrel kind of like goes in a couple of circles and comes back to the group.
Okay. The bear hasn't made any moves, or
It's just kind of looking at you, but is staying there.
Do you speak common? Hello. Do you speak any languages aside from bear? Is that just bear, or is that any other?
No, that was bear.
It's just bear. Okay.
The bear will start to take a few steps towards you and stop about halfway, so it's about 20 feet from you right now. And just kind of still looking at you.
It occurs to me, well, I didn't give chase back at the city, but do any of you recognize this bear?
Oh, I wonder. Is this the bear? That's a great question. Yeah, I'll take a look. See if someone I fed fish to and Drixon guided off.
Drexlin and Dakos make a fresh perception check or history check. Either one.
13.
Okay. And what about you, Dakos?
24.
Okay. Drexlin, it's difficult for you to it looks like a bear, Dakos, there are a few fur markings that look very similar to the bear that you saw in the marketplace and chased after for a bit. Or just ran behind, didn't really chase it, but...
You sly bear. We already know each other, don't we? We had to fish for you. We helped you flee town with the fish when we thought gods would actually care. We were worried for you. Yes, I knew I recognized you. I know we might all look alike to you, but this is Drexlin, and hi, this is Lev, and Yavani, if Yavani's out here. Yes, it's us. I think that Drexlin's friend, and I'll gesture to the squirrel, said that you have some means of communicating with us so we can talk and discuss things, and led us to you. Attempts so far seem to have failed. Can you help us?
It would take a few more steps forward. And we'll start to take its claw and write in a patch of dirt. And we'll write, yes.
Oh.
And it takes about a minute to write it out because it's just using one claw, and it's a little shaky, and it's very big and looks like that a preschooler wrote it, what we would consider a preschooler, but yeah.
Well, that's very fine work. Fine work. I think that we'll have to make our questions very concise, if not yes or no. Are you all previous villagers? Is this what became of you all? We all turned to animals. That's just a yes or no.
Bear will kind of blow snot on the ground and kind of start to rub the dirt back with its paw, and will slowly write, yes.
Ivana, you're seeing this, yes? Is this...
What's that, Dagos? Giovanni comes out of the house.
Come here, Giovanni. Yes, this beck can communicate through written common, but takes a little while for them to write. We asked the bear if the villager, if they were all previously the villagers, if this is what became of all of them, and the bear wrote yes.
Do we know if they're understanding us or if they just write yes in response to everything we ask?
That's a good question.
That would be a great riddle, wouldn't it?
Yes. Are you all regular animals and definitely not the villagers?
It will blow some snot on the dirt again and rub it and slowly write no.
What if the bear always lies and the squirrel always tells the truth? You ever heard? Oh no, wait, that's a different.
Yeah. Awesome. Oh, I love it. All right. I don't know. What else should we ask?
How can we
all the
help?
fun.
Although I suppose that could be a difficult question to answer, but we can try. How can we help you?
It will rub the dirt some more, and we'll just kind of do a question mark.
Maybe if we find out who did this to them, we can seek them out, or at least their magic or something. And who did this to you? Is there a particular person that orchestrated this?
Snot in the dirt again. Slowly write many. M-A-N-Y.
Under someone's orders, perhaps the king?
We'll rub the dirt and do a question mark again.
How about some more immediate questions, like are we in danger or are they in danger?
I'll look at the bear.
Or oh, what's wrong with the stars? Why aren't there more? No. Let's start with the danger one.
Simple answers.
Are you in any danger? All of you.
It will kind of put some more snot in the dirt, rub it, and slowly write out. This takes it a good it feels like 5 minutes, to write out hungry.
Oh, okay.
I think that means the bear wants to eat us.
No.
I don't.
Not
He would have eaten.
Bear will kind of.
You can. I have some rations. I'll pause in my bag and take up some rations.
Yeah. If Dakos does that, I'll do the same.
The two of you do this, and immediately you hear rustling and running and kind of scampering, and you see that mice are coming closer to you. Foxes, birds, a hawk, at the sound of the food being taken out.
Okay. I'll take all 10 pounds of rations out and spread it out for all of them. That's all I have.
Okay. You see a bit of, at first, some kind of hurried grabbing, but you'll see a couple of the animals trying to kind of keep a couple separated, start kind of pushing out food to different ones.
Oh, it seems like they don't know who did it to them. Many isn't so vague; it doesn't give us any direction. No leader. They don't. They must remember the king, but they don't. The question mark makes me think that. I don't know. I'm confused on the question mark. Since it wasn't a yes or no.
Perhaps we should ask, how long have they been like this?
Excellent question. For how many years have you been in this state?
The bear will start to slowly walk off back to where it was before and into the house that it was standing beside, which is actually one of the ones that didn't look safe enough to really enter into.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see it kind of go under a couple of boards inside the house, and the other animals are kind of still getting the food, sorted. Some of them are running back to some houses or running off into the forest. And the bear you'll hear kind of like a dragging sound, and the bear will come out of the house, carefully dragging a wooden board that's pretty large. Looks like a piece of a wall. And we'll drag it out there, and on it you will see tick marks.
Mm-hmm.
Made pretty crudely into the wall. A little bit of paint still on it. I won't make you roll anything. If you count up the tick marks, it looks like around 15 years.
Wow.
Oh, 15. Yvonne, is that beyond the typical age of a bear? Are they held in permanent suspension of life, I wonder?
You need me to roll for that stuff?
Yeah.
22.
Oh, nice.
So bears across different species tend to live around 20 to 30 years. This one looks like an adult bear, but it doesn't look like, Yvonne, that it's it doesn't look like that it's very old. So it could match up.
Okay.
But
it's really hard to say. I mean, the bear could be, but it's not implausible. But I don't think I'm really answering the question that you're really trying to ask, Dacos.
Nice.
There's still a mystery here that we don't know.
Indeed. Thank you for your expertise, Yvonne.
You will see at this time a few birds fly out of the trees with a like a garland of flowers, and will fly over your head and off towards, like, down one of the roads that leads out of the village.
Oh, was that for us? I'll ask the bear.
No.
No. All right. Just regular air traffic.
You'll see it's kind of slobber on the ground. Brush it out, and we'll write in the dirt. I was trying to think of a word that it would use. We'll write in there. It's about 3 or 4 minutes. Grave.
Oh no. You've lost a member of your number.
We'll write under that, Minnie.
I am so sorry.
Oh.
It occurs to me that these animals seem to know each other. or know of each other's previous existence, and they did mention that they were hungry. So when you add 2 and 2 together, they probably don't want to mess with the natural order of things.
Well, I see what you're saying.
And maybe that explains why they head into the city.
Are any of the animals in the village, including, I suppose the hawks would be carnivores? Are there many carnivores, or are they mostly omnivores and herbivores?
I mean, you've seen, of course, you would know the bear, the hawk. The rest of them, it's been mostly squirrels. Foxes, I mentioned foxes. Yeah, I mean, you haven't seen a ton of carnivores, but...
Yes, that's a good... bear. There have been many pets missing, smaller animals from the city. Is that just all of you looking for a meal?
Bear will scratch out what was there and write, yes.
Oh, poor things. Well, I have to ask then, Bear. Things seem so muddled, and I was hoping more, but one lasting question I think we have at least would be, we've heard tale of a creature, sometimes in the state of a fawn, I believe, other times more humanoid, with antlers, sometimes cloaked, traveling through the city. We aren't sure if they're looking to help or looking to hinder whatever. The townspeople don't know of any of this, by the way, just so you know. But do you know of this individual of which I speak? And I'll give the best description I can based on what the whisperer and the other person there, the queen.
Has anybody drawn this character in their books yet? Because that might be work too.
Oh, right. I think he did after, because I think the queen gave a description and/or. Yeah. So like flip. I'm like this.
The bear will shake its head, spittle kind of growing everywhere. But will wipe out what's in the dirt and draw a book.
It's a lovely drawing. Yes, fine work.
Will write in the ground under it, book place.
Library?
Oh.
Ooh, we've been to the library. It has a wonderful... Well, you don't want to know we're looking at the sky right now, do you?
Yes. Mm-hmm. A library, right. Did your town have a library? Look around at the buildings and see if any of them look library-esque. All right. I'm sorry.
It will write, kind of put some spittle in the ground and wipe off that and put write east.
Is that the direction of the city, or is that away from the city, or in a different direction?
They just write east. East. You're kind of you would know that you're in the western part of the forest.
Okay.
So it sounds like you're talking about the city.
So, guys, I have a question.
The forest is on the east side of the city.
The forest,
okay. So
the forest is
the west.
east of the city. Okay.
So we have to go further east.
Oh, good. All right. Oh, so different library.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, Yava.
Well, something we read in one of the books about the forest being off limits.
Yes.
There's a question on the tip of my tongue, and I can't put it into words, but the forest is off limits for the current city, and I wonder if the forest was off limits for them too. But I don't know what that means. It's a part of a puzzle that I can't figure out how to fit in. Giovanni will start pacing and kind of muttering to himself.
That's a really good question. Bear, there's a couple of journals in the homes, and I, understanding now that your journals, I apologize for having to intrude, but we are looking for answers, and would love to restore you. It spoke of the forest being off limits. Is there a particular portion of the forest that used to be off limits since your homes were here? My camera does not want to hang tight.
No, it doesn't.
No.
It's that screw like under the base, so it's just difficult to get to, and
Yes.
I keep adjusting it, and it just. Okay.
It's never enough. Yeah, I hear that. Yeah.
Never enough. Okay. All right. What? I'm sorry. What did you ask, Dakos?
Basically, what portion of the woods was off limits for them?
It would write in the dirt east.
Oh. Perhaps that's what we should pursue. Oh, Yava.
You will see another group of birds with a garland of flowers flying overhead.
Oh no.
And past you over the village in the same direction that the other birds were.
Would that direction be east?
Are they heading to?
No.
Yeah. Are they heading?
No.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Talking to the bear. In the buildings, we saw signs of, for lack of a human activity, or was that signs of you eating in the buildings? Like you said, there were bowls that looked like they were used, and
as a DM, let me clarify if this changes what you're asking here. They look like they've been used, but not recently. Like,
okay, all right.
This is like, maybe some like scrapings of like dried food inside them, but not anything fresh.
Right. Yeah. As we say in the court, I'll retract that question.
Okay.
Nice.
I mean, you probably would have maybe in the hot comb. Now that I think about it, probably would have seen maybe like the signs of food being eaten, but it was more on the floor. It wasn't really like in plates or anything. Looked like maybe animals had eaten something.
Okay.
Dakos?
Yes.
You mentioned to us that the rat catcher, the pest control person, was not being entirely truthful.
Right.
I think maybe should we ask if we can trust this person, or maybe that's another lead we can follow, because if anybody, he might know more.
This is true. Yes. Bear. Bear, do you have a name? I hate calling people simply by, their species. It just feels very in my mouth. Do you have a name?
The barrel right in the dirt. Ivel. Ivel.
Ivel. Oh, thank you. I was so much better already. Oh, Ivel. Love it. Ivel. We are aware. We were told by a certain tiefling that apparently manages to creatures, a sort of a removal of you and your ilk from the city out to the forest. Now, they told me directly that, I just let my golems escort the creatures out where they're set free into the woods. I could tell that they were lying. Do you know what happens when your friends from the city and your ilk are brought to the forest?
The bear will kind of shake its head no. You will hear some birds like suddenly like chittering like in one of the trees, because you still have some of the animals that are watching you from, and you'll hear just a bunch of
Yes.
birds making a ruckus in one of the trees.
Oh, hello. Oh,
I'll turn to the bear. Something wrong? Okay.
Oh, yeah. I will. Can you speak with the birds? Can the birds? It sounds like maybe they have an idea. Can they tell you, and you can share with us?
How long
Good.
is it fair? Has it been fairly recent that your food supply or sources of food have dried up? Hmm.
Mm.
You have any idea what caused it? No. Or who caused it?
The bear will write in the dirt no more.
Okay. That's all you know. Yeah. Something has cut off their natural food supply.
If I'll say it to the birds, we're going to be heading east next. No, I guess there's just. Ival, is there?
Sorry, go ahead.
Are there other of your friends at the library? Anyone that might be able to speak with? If we ask the birds to come, will there be any other creatures that can write as you do, that might understand the birds?
The bear would write in the dirt turtle.
If you'd like to come with us to share what's happening with your friends, and the constructs, if the turtle can speak as Ival does, perhaps you can share with us then. Your choice. Thank you, Ival.
The bear's going to, Ival's going to kind of claw at the ground in front of you and will and turn and start walking in the same direction that the birds were going.
Well, should we honor the dead with you, Ival?
And he keeps walking.
He'll kind of give a nod as he like turns and starts walking down the road.
All right, let's go.
Indeed.
Jackson will get up and start following the bear.
Okay.
Yes, what an amateur.
This is not what I thought I'd be doing today.
Alright. So y'all will walk for, let's see, let me take a look at my map here. It's not too far. Probably close to like 20 minutes, probably. Walking through some of the wood, 25 minutes. And you'll come upon this clearing in this like lush forest. It's circular. There's a huge tree that's taller than all of the others in the area. That's kind of on the opposite side of this circle where you're coming into. The circle has like stones embedded into the ground, like almost in a crude form of cobblestone. And there are stones all around this circle. And you'll see a plaque on the large tree on the other side. Also on the other side of the circle behind the tree is like this wall of green. Not like the color green, but like greenery, like trees, almost like this thick shrubbery that seems to go as far as you can see. Like it just disappears into the horizon above. And the bear will kind of walk in and just kind of like go over to one of the graves and sit and just kind of look back at y'all, and roar. You'll see the birds at a couple of the graves, like putting garland down.
Drexel will walk over, kneel, and clutch his holy symbol and offer up a prayer.
Where are you doing this at?
Probably behind / adjacent to the bear.
Okay. Jackson, I'll say since you're this close, you would notice that the stones aren't marked. And in fact, like as you get down the ground, everything is, and actually, Yav, Dakos, and Lev, if you want to make a perception check, so that way y'all can notice this too, and it's not just Drexlin. If you roll well. What did you get, Dakos?
24.
Okay, Lev.
21.
Okay, and Yavani. But wasn't you're muted, Warren? Nope. Still
Mike's out.
muted. Still not hearing you.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
If you want to put it in, type it in chat, Yavani. If you want to. Okay. All right. Yeah. So the other three of you notice this too, that like you start to look around and you kind of take a few steps in to the circle, and you'll notice a few things. You'll notice that the graves are these stones that at first, you know, you kind of just assume were gravestones, are just kind of like rocks that have been like crudely kind of like almost just pushed into position. You'll see some like drag marks in the dirt around it. And then also what you would assume are the graves are just like very crudely done as well. Just like, you know, humped up, not even. This definitely wasn't like professionally done or done with shovels. And you'll also notice that by the large tree, with the plaque on it, you can't read from here. You can go closer if you want. Also has some like, looks like dead, dried flowers at the bottom of it.
Drexel will look back at the others. This is the best they could do. And approach the plaque, I guess.
I would say with all of your rolls, you would probably guess about stone count here, like how many stones there are. Probably over 100. There are small mounds and there are larger mounds too.
Said Ivel that souls released from the body retain their true form of their soul when passing. So perhaps that will offer some solace to you. I don't suppose.
Go ahead.
Jackson, I'm sorry. Was it you that mentioned? Are you able to perform that a ritual of sorts to send the past on? I'm actually taking a look around to see if there's any ghosts here, like trying to talk to the living while I'm saying that to Jackson. I'm sorry, Jackson. I just can't recall if that was you. There's people that talk to me and like yes, and then there's people that talk to me like all of you, and oh, of course, I want to hear what you have to say. I do love listening to what most people have to say, but
perhaps if we come back, I think you're referring to ceremony, I guess.
Yes. I've seen it done in the past by some folks of your vocation.
I don't even know. Yeah, I'm not even get at that level yet.
Oh, do you all? And I'm just gonna look like at areas that seem like random areas, but it's these these group handful of things. Do any of you have anything you wish to share with the living? My face is gonna get a little sullen and sunken in, sort of like gonna lose the pallor in my face a bit as I try and engage with them. Eyes get kind of really dark and something like that around the eyes.
If anyone plays Dark Souls, it's like you've lost your humanity.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, okay, Jackson. Well, that's good, Jackson. Perhaps next time, another time.
If we come back here, which I hope we will.
It's lovely, Jackson. And then I'll look around and say that to those areas nearby. And do any of you have anything you wish to pass on to the living? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Okay.
is you sure I can repeat
I just
that?
sent it to you. While he's reading that, Draxlin, you said you looked at the plaque on the tree.
Yeah, I wanted to approach and read the plaque.
As you step closer, you see those dried flowers on the ground, and they kind of crunch under your foot. The plaque reads, let's see here, Kasula Amicare. And it's a golden plaque with a marble backing. That seems to be pretty well put into the tree. This definitely isn't, and there seems to be a little bit of like almost like these like decorative poles around the tree as well. This definitely wasn't as crudely done as the graves.
So in the discussion, after hearing sort of the collectively this that you've sent, sorry, Drexel sees that, not all of us, right? Or did we all see the?
Upon seeing that, I would, relay that to the group.
Oh, I'll look up and talk to the emptiness again. Do you know? Is this truly? Do you know what happened to poor, to her?
Sorry, I'm typing out something. Wait a minute.
No problem. I know it's it's a lot.
Wow, that's scandalous stuff.
And what you were just asking about that, what did you ask them the last one again?
If they know, if that's really her, and if they know what happened. Okay. Oh, I see. Yes, that makes sense. It's very kind of all of you. Any of you here for and I'll just kind of nod my head at Ivel, since Ivel's probably not looking at me, and I don't want to get his hopes up. Okay. Are any of you here for? I'll gesture at Ivel. Sorry. This will be juicy. Oh, okay. Yes, well, I'll just rattle off last in their names and kind of rattle off so and so, 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 and so and so are here. Just wishing, they want us to help you as best we can, Ivel and friends. I will. Sybil is here and wishes you the best. Looks at you rather fondly, and is wishing for the best and hoping for the best. And I can assure you, we'll do our best to see things are made right here.
Ivo looks at you and kind of looks back at the grave marker and.
I know, I know. Well, here's some of the other matters. This was just a memorial, it seems, to Kasula. It's not actually her grave. But while villagers were alive, they erected this memorial. Much of what we read in journals seems to hold true with the ghosts here. But interestingly, they've shared, there's 7 that I can see currently. And they said that they were turned into animals, some in the middle of the night, others during the day. And they've even heard from other spirits who returned, all by someone wearing Lord Callum's markings. None of the ghosts that were here experienced that, but some of their kindred spirits experience that. Someone with Lord Callum's markings turn them into animals. Sybil will do our very best, we will. And we're quite capable. Yes.
Just kind of nod. Everyone make fresh perception checks for me, please. Maybe everyone, well, yeah, go ahead and make, all of you make fresh perception checks. Lev, what did you roll? Oh, can't hear you, friend.
22.
Okay. Lev?
That was Lev, I think.
Not Lev.
He just answered.
Yvonne. Sorry.
11.
Okay. Dakos?
23.
And Drexlin.
6.
So Love and Dakos, you notice as you're, kind of looking around that, and Dakos, you're finishing what you're telling them. You notice that there is a kind of a in the forest that surrounds this grave circle, the gravestones. You see a little kind of a beaten path that kind of seems to go under the trees, like a path that hasn't been kept. It seems to exit away from this grave area, but not in the direction that you came from.
Does it head east?
It does head east, yeah.
Okay. Where does oh, that's the ghosts. Do you know where that goes? Anyone else see? Is it Giovanni, Lev? Since Drexel's sort of looking at the plaque, it looks like a path. Yes? No? Am I crazy? Well, let's separate, I suppose.
Yeah, that definitely doesn't look natural.
Right? Looks like disused, maybe covered up, but
I sent you a message, Dan.
all right. Oh, thank you.
Yvonne's writing furiously in their book and kind of nods. Yep, looks like a path. But doesn't stop writing.
Nice.
Or drawing, you're not sure which.
Is that wild? Nice. Oh, yes. I'm sorry. What? I'll look at this empty space. What are the mounds? So sorry, everyone. Please hold.
Just a quick note. When you're speaking, are you doing this mentally or are you speaking out loud?
Out loud. And when I'm sort of engaged, my face gets a bit of a sullen, creepy, ill, close to death kind of look.
Okay.
Oh, the mounds. Well, that makes more sense. Yes, thank you. That path heads to the old graves. Oh, that sounds delightful. It was here before the villages. Maybe more answers? shall we explore?
Be willing to find out. I mean, I don't know if the bear wants to come, but
Oh, yes, I will.
He'll get up and just kind of follow you.
Are the birds following us that seem to know what happens to the animals when they're released? They decide to come with us? Just-
No, they're not going here.
Okay.
They just stay right there in the circle grave area.
Okay.
All right.
Onward then. Yes.
So y'all head through this little pathway. You have to duck under trees and kind of step over some brush, some vines and some thorns. And let's see here. It's but like 15 minutes, but it's just so overgrown that you're almost like towards the end, you're almost like having to fight your way through like this thicket of like overbrush. When you finally break out, it's another like clearing, but has 3 large mounds, burial mounds. In the center is a stone, like a large stone embedded in the ground with some kind of writing on it. A symbol.
I'll copy the symbol in my book.
These
does it mean anything?
mounds, just to give you an idea, are probably about... Oh, Jesus.
They're about Jesus?
100 by 100 feet.
wow.
And probably
Holy shit.
go up about probably like 20.
Well, this is a clue, certainly. To the history of this place, I imagine. Does the symbol mean anything to any of us?
Yeah, you
Anything like
head
that?
over there. The stone symbol looks to be carved into a large piece of stone that's probably about probably like 10 feet by 10 feet. Does anyone have proficiency in history? Oh.
Not me, no.
Yvonne, do you? Wow, look at y'all. All right, so y'all make history checks for me, please.
We're ready, teach. We came to class earlier.
Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I do. I have a check mark next to mine.
Then that means, yeah, make a history
That's
check.
so bad.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
It didn't help.
All right.
11.
11 for Draxla and Dakos. What did you roll?
I rolled a natural 1 for a 5.
Wow. Yvonne
15.
and Lev.
I'm thinking I'm gonna go ahead and use lucky.
Okay.
Roll
Nice.
that. History. Why isn't it showing up? I think 21.
Okay.
Let me just bring that up one more time.
Mm-hmm. It
Yeah,
showed up for
21.
me. Mm-hmm.
So I will say, Yvonne and Lev, you're able to tell that this is a rune, a runic symbol that usually means it's a representation for journey or the wheel of like life. Lev, with your role, you're able to tell that this and the mounds themselves are quite old, and I'm going to message you when around the time.
Whispers.
Oh my goodness.
What is it, Lev?
So much for the poker face.
Yeah. I have no idea what this means.
This place is probably a lot older than we originally thought.
Oh.
Maybe 2 or 3 times as old.
Oh. That's incredible.
What could be this big?
Yes. Any giant ghost stuff?
Mm.
Makes me a little scared, to be honest. You go ahead and eat your snack. I can roleplay
Fine.
a little bit here, right?
Gotcha.
I don't know. Lev, I'm sorry. Do you know what this symbol means?
Something indicating like a circular motion, journey through time, maybe something to do with life.
Oh. Oh.
Mm-mm.
Oh. Okay. I'll look over and like be startled a bit, like looking just over your shoulder, like, oh, well, maybe they can explain a little more. Hello. It's ghost. So, if you see ghosts, you'll see ghosts. Regular size ghosts. Hello. Are those your graves? They seem rather large for. Oh, did you? I know many people shrink in old age, but I don't think I've seen anyone shrink quite so much in death. Is that were you once larger? Holy shit! That's okay. So, mass graves is what we're looking at. Those aren't 3 giant creatures, they're 3 mass graves. That is heart-rendering. I am so terribly sorry. So I'm fearing that this is a cycle. Currently, just to let you know what's going on in the city, run by Lady Amakir, Cullum's daughter. And I'll just give run. I don't want to, kill everyone's roleplay time with that. Blah 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 blah. And then previously there was this village with Ivel, a gesture to Ivel, and they had a bunch of people turned into animals and whisked away. And now Ivel and friends say that your time is even earlier than that. Lord fucking Callum ruled you too. Great. Wonderful. Anyone turned into animals in your time, or were the woods off limits to you as well? I feel this is a cycle. What have you seen in your wisdom and death that you might be able to share? To shine the light on what's happening. I'll try and make it easy to put it into one thing so I won't bug you with a million small questions stuff. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, you won't believe the look around. Everyone, you're not going to believe this. Back in their time, they were simply killing them outright. Only after that time did Cullum's people get a little more clever and turn people into animals to disappear instead of. So clearly, they've removed quite a few people, judging by these 3 graves. Do you know why? Do you know what Callum is up to at all, or any indications? Why did he kill so many? And does he continue to do so? This is terrible. I'm gonna hold my head down a little bit here in honor of all the dead here. Oh, so they say that Lord Callum started by pretending to be a benevolent ruler, pretending not to be a tyrant, but indeed he was, and that when that came through, and I assume when those opposed him, that's when they began killing others. No reason, no reasoning at all, other than. Oh no! So this is back from the time of his wife. So around the time that there were rumors of marital issues, and his wife went missing. That's when apparently the trigger was flipped. The switch flipped in Cullum's head and he began killing people. That's what you see here. It's round one. I'm so sorry, friends. I'm terribly sorry, I say to the ghosts. Do you have any... I want you to know that we're doing our best to unravel these mysteries and bring this terrible cycle to an end. Do you have anything that might aid us in that? If not, then I bid you rest in peace. Oh! Well then. Thank you. Thank you. That's very insightful. So it's a different wife. This is not the wife that we know of that disappeared. What was her name here? We just talked about her. Jazz.
Kasula. Amakir.
This isn't Kasula. This is the wife prior to that. Also marital issues. Also missing wife. Also murder spree. Right.
Oh, whoops. I directed that message, did that to you.
Very insightful. So, friends, I'm terribly sorry. Hopefully that makes sense. I translated that in a coherent way. Is that not crazy, everyone?
Indeed. I don't know how we tell Lara this.
Yes.
She won't believe it.
My other concern is, isn't that an odd parallel? That there's marital issues with the lady Amakir, and what's this going to lead to? Does this have something to do with this terrible cycle? Now that she's the ruler,
Well, she's not married.
Yes, we hung out with her husband there.
You've never heard them say marriage.
Marriage.
To do with Queen and King, right? Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yes.
Oh, I guess the laws are different in every land. I'm just terribly sorry. I just assumed, given they were King and Queen here together.
You've heard them. I'll, as a DM, I'll say that Quinn mentioned it as a partnership, as an agreement.
Okay. Well, maybe they're off the hook then. But something to just plug into the very back of some of our minds in case. I fear to say it, but if Lady Amakir is also pretending to be benevolent, but is in fact not, that would be rather scary. If she's learned some terrible ritual in this cycle from her father that she's taken over, or something. Hopefully she's fine and everything will be well.
I think the important thing to find out before we take this to her is the same question I think we all have in our minds. Why is he doing this?
Yes.
Seems like the really controlling type. Feels like he has like a diluted perception of reality and is very controlling. My biggest concern is there's whatever his plans are, there's a huge wrench in it now. There's another plane up in the sky.
Right?
This is true.
So many pieces to the puzzle.
Okay. Well, we'll say that while y'all are standing there thinking, that we'll go and take our bio break. Give y'all time some process this information.
Wow. Yeah.
And we'll come back
Big
in
drop.
about 10 minutes. So for viewers, we'll take a 2-minute bio break. So we'll be right back. And so see you soon. Mics are hot.
Yeah. Oh. Bum, 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 bum.
Ooh. Man.
Yeah, starting to chip away at this mystery here. A little bit. I need a snack. But,
Hmm.
come on.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Right. Water. Water, please. Oh.
Oh.
Oh. That's so sweet. What a cool way to go too.
Interesting. Oh, well, that's fun. That's a real good time. Okay, well, don't have a 3-player layout set.
Oh boy.
Okay, it's all right. We'll just take a second to get it done. No. Rename players plus battle. All right. All right.
All right.
Sorry, I have to get a 3-person layout set here.
Oh,
Shit.
cool. Oh, man, why is this cable gotta be down here?
Why aren't you entering in the file? What? What? Why are there only 3 of you? No. No, go inside the file. Oh, that's not. Why isn't that? You know, I think I just need to delete that. I think it didn't work before. How do I add? Oh, there it is. 3. Why are you not going in the folder? I don't understand.
Would you like to handle anything, staff, or are you just processing externally?
I am kind of just processing externally.
Okay.
I'm just having a hard time getting these like Zoom things in the folder, but I think I got it. Thank you though. There we go. Alright, I just need to get these guys in your place. I'm just gonna have to kind of finagle those after I get them set. And then we shouldn't. We hit battle. We'll just have to do. That's fine. Should be fun.
Fight with the ghosts.
Should be okay. It's got an hour left.
You can always do theater of the mind if anything happens.
Yeah.
I imagine.
At least y'all will
Being
see it.
clear.
We just might. It's the.
Yeah.
All right. Let me go back live, and I'll have to adjust the cameras for a second. But we'll get it.
do?
In 3. Nope. 73. 2. 1. All right. There we go.
Hey.
Now let me get this adjusted. Hello, welcome back. It's taking a couple minutes to get the cameras adjusted since I had to change the layout since we had a Warren had to was feeling very tired, so of my shit.
But nice.
Stephanie, that's it.
Oh, Audi 2000.
You've played on our emotions too long.
Hey, thank you for the raid, Fable 42. It's nice to
thank
see you.
I'm just adjusting some cameras, so excuse us for a couple of seconds, but then we'll get back into the mystery, the touch, the feel of cotton, the fabric of our lives.
So glad to
all
have
right.
you here.
All set. Okay. Welcome back, y'all. So, you're there by the mound still, Just biding your time?
Yeah, I mean, we were walloped with that info, and it sounds like they don't have anything else to share. Yes, and perhaps this library that Ivel spoke of will help further elucidate the mysteries. Yes, just another. It feels like a cycle, does it not?
Yes, for whatever the why is with the book, this constant refreshing of souls and murder.
Oh,
Maybe that's what that rune is actually referring to.
oh,
Could be. Yeah,
oh.
a cycle of I cannot fathom something necromantic for needing souls over and over and over, perpetuate one's life, maybe.
Hmm. Now, isn't there? I feel that in my comparatively limited experience with magic, I'm sure to your studies, some magics are performed repeatedly to make something permanent. Yes.
Is this what's keeping the demiplane around? That's another
Could be.
possibility.
Like teleportation circles. If when they make those fine permanent locations, cast it again and again and again in the same location, and then it becomes permanent after some time. I think.
Perhaps the library will give us clues to the why, but we have to be careful. I think maybe a better route is to approach Quinn with this information. I'm afraid if we can't approach Lady Amakir unless we have dead solid proof of this.
I think that lies. It's troubling. We don't know who's in cahoots with whom rather. It's easy. Well, I guess we know that what's his name isn't lying about a lot of that. So yes, Quinn, I think, is the person to speak with next. Oh, Ivel! Yes, is everything fine? You're looking to go?
As much as a bear could shrug, the bear shrugs.
Oh. All right. Well, I suppose we should begin our march eastward. The ghosts have asked if there's anything else they could share to be insightful or help us in our endeavor, but the last that they were able to share was simply that this was a former wife of Callum.
The bear will kind of open its mouth and let some of its slobber dribble on the ground and use it to kind of like start, and will write can, like, it takes like 5 or 6 minutes, can show you way.
Good. All right, lead the way. I will. Unless do either of you have anything you wish me to ask the ghosts, or continue on as before leaving? No.
Not unless they said they didn't know why he was doing this killing over and over again.
They said, just that he needs to be stopped, but they didn't know why. Just that he was fine until he wasn't. That's all they would say. If we're able to manage, our kind, the kind Sir Drexlin here, another time when prepared, may offer some ceremony for all I'll just kind of gesture at the mounds, all of those that have passed.
In both locations.
Yes.
You'll nod.
Thank you.
And we will try to get food to your village.
Well, Jive, yes, lead the way. I'm just gonna, when we go past those birds again, I'll just remind them, like, come with us if you want.
You would hear something after Draxlin said, we'll try to get food to your village.
Quest and cliffhangers.
Direct
Thank you for the raid.
message. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Oh, so you didn't live here before the current generation? Did you live in the city beforehand? I'll just save the empty space again. Oh, we're heading to the. Is there anything we should look for when heading east from here? Can you let anyone know that? Oh, I see. Interesting. Thank you all. Thank you. Just give a bow. Right, I'm not high enough level to do that thing with death yet, so.
Okay.
I'll follow. And again, I'll tell the birds, follow us if you have things to tell us.
Well, they're not there at the mound, but Iva will definitely take you back through the grave where the tree is and the grave markers are. So you say it there because that's where the birds are still there.
Yeah, I was saying when we see them.
Okay.
Just want to
All
mind
right.
on our way out.
A couple of them will kind of fly along with you. But Iva will take you through the grave area, take you back through the village that you were in, and we'll start eastward. Y'all will travel for about a little over a half hour. Would be crossing a river of sorts. It's not like a rushing river. It's definitely calm. But it's definitely a body of water that's about the size of a river that you're crossing over on a stone bridge.
Okay.
That looks old, but you're still able to cross on it. It looks like.
Okay.
Looks like a few stones have been kind of pushed under it to kind of help keep it up. So over this time, everyone make perception checks for me, please. Lev, what did you get?
It's a 16 for me.
Okay. Drexlin?
Natural 20 for 21.
Ooh, and Dakos.
21.
Okay. I'll say that you all will definitely notice as Ivel continues to lead you. This definitely seems like an old road. That's not quite it's not cobblestone, it is dirt. But here and there you'll see kind of like what you did before leading into the village, some like planks. So it had been like planked out before, like a walkway, but has since kind of overgrown a bit. This will lead you past two other rundown villages before you cross over the water on the bridge. About the same size as the others. You'll see animals in kind of like peeking out of these villages. Couple of times, you'll see an animal kind of get a little kind of look like they're about ready to like warn you or attack you, but they'll see Ivel and will kind of slowly back off and just kind of like Ivel will and they'll just kind of watch you very intently. The two birds continue to follow you. Yes, Dagos? At first, I thought you were waving hi to the animals. Sorry.
Oh, gotcha. No, I wanted to be on your time.
Okay.
If we're seeing two other villages, I'd probably ask everyone or Ivo, like, Ivo, are those villages circa your time frame? Or are those also from like before?
You'll see a nod.
Thank you, Ivo. Thank you.
You'll see a nod at your time frame.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ivo. That was so sad. So many.
You'll also... Did anyone get above a 20 or a 20 or above?
21.
Drexlin?
Yeah, 21.
Dagos?
And I think
what was yours, love, again? Your perception? What?
Sorry, I was muted. 16.
I was like, oh, he's grabbing a drink. Okay. Like, on your time, Ed.
He's just chilling.
On your time. Okay, yeah, so that's what I thought. So Drexlin and Dacos, you would also notice that these animals that you're passing, even though they're probably at least, like 30 feet away from you off the road in these villages, and there are definitely like little paths leading into these villages too. So, it's all connected. The animals do look a little bit gaunt. Probably similar to how you saw with the animals in the other village.
Okay.
After you cross over the water on the bridge that I mentioned before, you will pass 5 other small villages with the same situation. You will also notice, this is probably about, because it's about a 2-hour trek. I mean, of course, you weren't communicated that, but, you continue following the bear. I would say that Dagos and Drexlin, you do notice that you don't see any, you don't see any animals that don't seem to be in these villages. Or, well, I mean, you see them kind of out and about, so I guess you wouldn't be able to tell. But you definitely don't see any, berries or any kind of, sustenance here in the woods. I would say make nature checks for me, please. Or survival checks if you are proficient.
Oh, I'm proficient in survival.
You don't have to let me know which one, but Lev, what did you roll?
Sorry, I'm trying to get this
Are you okay?
to unhide. Let's see, nature.
Oh, no.
It's a 19.
Okay. Drexlin?
9.
And Dacos.
30-20.
Okay. So, Lev and Dacos, you would notice that you don't see any berries or any kind of sustenance out of, other than other animals. But you do notice that there are bushes and things that would produce these, but they're completely picked clean.
Okay. Yeah.
Close to about 2 hours in, you would kind of see off to your left, you would start noticing kind of a different part of the forest. This, this is it's a pretty lush, with trees and things that you've been passing through, except on this path. To your left, as you get about 2 hours in, you'll start noticing that a different looking type of forest, deeper into the forest than where you've been, seems to be kind of encroaching closer and closer to the path that you're walking as you're continuing. It doesn't seem to go any farther than maybe about 20 feet from you at one point, about an hour and a half walking in. The trees in that part of the forest are, you can almost see a little bit of almost like a pinkish color peek through foliage. There are trees deeper into the forest that are almost like this pink color. You would also notice maybe 1 or 2 around this time, close to that part of the forest, glowing butterflies These butterflies that seem to have this kind of iridescence to them and almost kind of glow, which is probably starting to get near evening now. So it's even better to see them in this kind of like dimming light of the forest. Let's see about that. So at
Can I
about
ask a question,
oh
too?
no, go ahead. No.
Thank you.
At about 2 hours, your path starts to kind of veer a bit, and it starts going into that part of the forest that is now getting very close. Unfortunately, the path kind of like deadens off, and you can almost see this kind of this thicket of greenery that kind of like blocks it off. The bear will continue just on the ground without the path. And you'll start to see ahead of you like a fence that's very similar to the fence that surrounded the forest, like that you came through. This fence seems to come because you know that from just your sense of direction. I won't even make you roll for anything of this. To the left is where that deeper in the forest is. To the right, you would assume that's closer to the city. As you approach these fences, which is where the bear seems to be heading towards and seems to start to go around, this fence kind of leads in from the city part, from the city side of the forest, leads into this fenced-in circle that has 4 other fenced-in circles around it. As you get closer, you start hearing what sounds like the cries of a small bear. The adult bear starts running towards the fence. There's no openings in this fence to get inside. The adult starts running towards the fence, and you go, and it gets up to the fence and kind of like goes up on it. And as you get closer, no, forest is east of the city. You're heading east in the forest, but technically it's south on like a city map. If the city is laid out like this, like you've been in the west part of the forest, you're heading east, like long ways. But if you're looking at it like in the map structure, the forest is to the east. You're moving north to south.
So we're not moving east, we're moving...
You're moving south on like a city map. But if you're just considered on the, you guys aren't using compasses. So, unless no one's mentioned using compasses. So you're just going by your sense.
Trying to get a lay of...
Yeah, you're just going by your sense of direction. So I'm assuming you're coming in from the city. Your west would be where you came in at the forest. East is going to be over here, which is where you're going.
The east, so the city is not east of this forest.
No, the forest is east of the city.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Okay. Sorry, I'm completely... So you get, the adult bear, Ivo, that's been leading you, is kind of clawing against this fence that you now see a baby bear inside of.
How big are these circles fences? I guess are they 20-foot wide, 10-foot wide?
How close are you getting to the fences, all of you?
I would have probably been pretty close behind Ivo.
Okay. Okay.
I don't trust this, and Liv casts Mage Armor.
Okay. As you, I just need to put this down. I'm going to put the chat down really quick so I can focus. You, as you approach the fence, you would see that the baby bear is stuck inside the fence. There's a large area that is fenced off that looks to be probably about 20 by 20 in diameter. Maybe 30, probably about 30 by 30.
Okay.
And it seems to be completely burnt and scored on the ground. Nothing really inside, other than just the dirt floor, but completely burnt and scored. What the baby bear is in one of these smaller fenced-in areas. That's the 4 that's around it. So you have like this, and you have like 4,
Right.
like
Cardinal.
that.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
The baby bear is in one of the smaller parts, and these smaller parts seem to have a covered, almost like a well. And these areas are about the same, about 30 by 30. Brrr.
No visible
Clawing
way
up.
in.
No, completely covered.
How high?
Oh.
I think it's about the same height as the one that was surrounding the forest, so I think about 30 feet is what I
Okay.
said.
All right. Consistent with that. Okay.
Yeah. And
I mean, I can lift people over. Oh, sorry, go
yeah, you can say that.
No, I thought you were. I didn't
Oh.
know you had other stuff. Go for it.
Okay. As the bear kind of like claws against it, you hear, "Hey!" And maybe make a really quick perception check for me, please.
Oh boy. Not my height.
Lev, what did you roll?
Everyone? Oh.
Yeah, everyone.
I'm gonna use my inspiration, because why not?
Okay.
What is that?
D10?
D10. Yeah, D10, I think, yeah. Is it D10 for level 6, Dan, or is it D8 still?
Oh, yeah. Man.
It might still be a D8.
That's a D8. For
Yeah,
level
D8.
6. Mm-hmm.
All right. There we go. Okay, so 15 total.
Okay. And Drexlin?
Bad night. 9.
And Dakos.
19.
Okay. So, Lev and Dakos, you got a 9, right, Drexlin?
Yes.
Poor Drexlin's you're not...
Not my night for
Your
roll.
rolls are not go very high this evening. Lev and Dakos, you would see that you would kind of note that the voice seems to be coming from that fenced-in walkway leading out towards the city. And you'll see kind of like through some trees a little bit of like armor shimmering as it's walking down the path.
Bloody.
Yeah. I will
Bad company.
quickly say that you have plenty of trees around that you could dive into if you want to.
Ooh.
Yeah, we hide. What about Ivo? They won't know. Or we dive into trees, and if this god, quick! If this god attacks, then we leap out and get a surprise action on him. We'll surprise them well. On them.
Also, I'll remind you that there's no way into the fenced-in area.
So there's like fence on top, or is that like
No,
a thing that
it's
we could
30
go over?
feet. It's 30 feet. So
Okay.
if you can get over that.
If we need to get over, we can use my broom. I can take it one at a time. But I think we're running out of time. They're not far away.
Hey! Bear!
Alright, I'm going to hide in the bushes. Let me know if you change your mind. I'm going to hide in the bushes to try and get a...
Okay.
I've got my broom ready for you now. This guard is on our side of the fence, right?
No, he's inside.
They're on the inside. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I can take one of you with me right now. We can drop down and scare the shit out of them.
Excellent, you go. And Lev grabs his hat, pulls it over his head, and casts invisibility.
Oh, that's so cool.
Okay,
Jackson, quick aboard. Mhm.
all right.
I'll get on Prudence and scooch up to you. Hold on tight.
You'll hear the guard as you're planning this out be like, "Stupid bear. Bear's trying to get in the fence." Kind of turns around and, okay. Going in, over, landing where?
Actually, I'm gonna hover up and
Okay.
as we're going over the fence, say, "Do you want to drop down and I'll go back and get Yavani and the others."
Drop them where? What do you?
Drop you on the guard.
Is it? Can we only see one guard?
Where are you hovering? Are you hovering like completely above the fence? The
I'm
fenced
gonna
in
go
area?
up over the fence and try and kind of hover like in the trees above like the bear.
You would see that the guard is turned and looks like he's talking to someone else. Stupid bear once in the fence.
Let's just both drop. I'll send the broom back.
He starts to turn around and start walking back to where he came from.
Oh,
Let him go. Let him go.
all right.
Wait till he's gone.
Does he patrol away?
Yeah, he starts. He's
Okay.
still walking in that direction. Eventually, it seems like he kind of turns a corner and disappears. But you'll hear like distant voices, I'll say, of like, "Huh, is that bear still in there? The baby? Yeah, it'll figure it out."
I'm going to set you down, Drexen, if that's all right. And
Get the
gather
bear.
others quietly.
Get the bear.
Oh, bear and back out?
Yeah, get the bear on the broom.
All right. All right, and I'll quietly float down to let
Okay.
Drexen off.
Yep.
And try and get that bear.
Okay. All right. And you can go through this little kind of like past, this fenced-in kind of like short little walkway to get to that one of the smaller areas.
I'm gonna check for traps if there's like an area.
Oh, sure. Make a an investigation check.
Okay.
Jackson, I will say that you were let down and you were in that. I'll say it's probably near that kind of more, I say larger area, but it just doesn't have the whales in it. It's just more, open, the charred area that you'll see some bits of like fur burnt into the ground. Some like claws here and there, some teeth that look animal.
Yep.
So remnants of animals in this area. What's your roll, Dacos?
It's 13. I've got my cloak on to see, just as a reminder, to see invisibility and ethereal plane and all that stuff. So
Okay. Yeah. And that was up for checking for traps, right? For a second, I was like, wait, what is this roll for? You check for traps. No traps.
Nice. I'll go and collect the cub.
Okay. The adult bear, has stopped clawing at the fence and has kind of like backed away a bit, especially after the guard came by. You pick up the baby bear. Why don't you make an animal handling check for me really quick, please?
Okay. Oh, good, a 0. Oh, that's not terrible anyway. 12.
Okay. All right. It's a little fighty at first, but you're able, and I will say, Dacos, as you're picking up the bear and you're near this well, that seems to be kind of covered with a piece of stone, and all the other 3 look like this too. If you kind of look around really quick, horrible smell.
All right. That's all right. What the fuck is going on here? I'm curious.
And I will say, both of you had probably noticed some like drag marks of like probably blood or something coming from that burnt, scorched area
to the wells.
To the wells.
Right. Disposal area.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring the cub to Drexlin
Okay.
and watch, like, listen for guards.
Okay.
And if it sounds like they're not yet patrolling, I'm gonna try and take a peek under that stone and see what's down. If it's just like a
Okay.
body dump, or if there's something arcane down there.
Okay. Yeah, you do that. You don't hear any guards. You'll hear like them talking, like the voices, but you won't like hear any footsteps or see them coming down the path, the walkway. You lift up the stone. Pretty heavy. Make a strength check for me, just for funsies.
Okay. A natural 19 for an 18.
Okay. Nice.
Legs,
Yeah,
legs,
you
not
move it.
back.
You move it a little bit. Lift with your legs, and horrible stench. You look in. It's just a pile of like bones and I say flesh, but it doesn't look human. It looks more like animal. Just a bunch of different kinds.
Okay. Nothing. It's not like they're feeding anything down there, right? Put a stone back.
No.
Just a pit.
You might hear some like skittering, and if you look, maybe some like mice or rats or something feeding. Yeah. But besides that, no.
I'll ask Prudence to bring them over while I'm doing this, and then come back for me.
Okay.
If Drexlin and the cup.
We'll kind of wisp out, and we'll take the two of you over. Start to come back for you, Dakos. And are you going to the other side as well?
Get out of the fence? Back to that hidey spot. Yeah, and try and get out.
All right. You get out of the fence, and as you do so, and you get to the other side, you hear, all of you would hear the guards. Oh, is that another one? Okay, bring it in.
Oh, no.
We got a Warforged.
Watching with keen eyes. And
so everyone's trying to hide?
Yeah, at that point, yeah.
Okay, everyone make stealth checks for me. Oh, you're invisible, nice. Right, love? You're invisible still. So Dakos and Drexlin make a stealth check for me.
Right.
Oh dear.
Everyone.
I rolled a 1 for a 0.
Got a sub die you want to use, Frank?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Nice. How about my subscriber die, which just happened? What is that? 2 d8?
2d8, yeah.
Seven.
Do you want to use mine too, Frank? I don't think I'll be using it the rest of this month.
Sure.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Thank you.
What was your roll, Drexlin? I mean, Dakos. What was your roll, Dakos? For stealth?
Let me go back to the tab. 22.
Okay.
Okay, so now I'm up to 18.
Okay, lovely. All right. So
Thank you.
So with Lev invisible and the two of you are able to hide, you see, let's see here. Yeah, you'll see you hear the clunking of heavy shoes kind of hitting the dirt and hitting some rocks, and coming down the path, this fenced-in path, you will see a Warforged carrying a cage that's built in with a handle. Cage is kind of going wild, but the Warforged is trying to keep it still. Gets to the center, to that scorched area of the fenced-in part, and will put down the cage. And will when kind of like its hand will kind of turn into a blowtorch.
Be ready. Oh shit, yeah.
And it will put it right onto the cage.
I'll take half a leap, but then if is it like dead pretty quick? that close to the blowtorch?
I mean, the cage is currently on fire.
What was in the cage?
Make, since I'm sure that there are some noises coming from while he was carrying it in, while they were carrying it in, why don't all of you make a nature check for me, please?
Okay. Better. 18.
Okay. Anyone else rolling for nature check?
Mm-hmm.
What did you roll, Dacos?
3.
And
It's
Lev?
just up and down.
A 6 for me.
Okay. Traxlen, you recognize the cries as the Warforged is carrying it down to the area before it starting to burn them. It sounds like foxes. It sounds like might be 2 or 3 of them.
Quick glance, like, what are we doing? We're ready to leap out of the bush.
He just started, right? They're not goners yet, right?
The cage is on fire.
Okay. Crap. I'm going to take a crowbar out of my backpack, and I'm going to throw it, like, behind where the Warforged is, so it makes as much noise as possible, and, like, off to the side, away from us, but away from the cage as well.
Could you repeat that again? I'm sorry. So you're throwing it, you're not hitting the Warforged and you're not hitting the cage. You're just as a distraction?
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Are you throwing it to where it will hit the cage, the fence, or over it?
Over it, like, yeah, away from us, and like on the other side. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Make a strength or athletics check for me, please.
Okay.
I'm gonna, as quietly as I can, fly up on the broom, try to go through the trees.
26.
Make another stealth check for me, Dacos, please. You said 23?
26.
Jackson? 26. Yes, you are able to very aptly
Chuck that crowbar.
chuck it. In fact, it goes a little bit farther and goes into a little bit of the trees beyond. The Warforged will look in that direction that it landed.
I'm swooping down when that happens, try and grab the cage.
Okay. All right.
If it's a cage, it looks like I can carry.
Okay. I'm going to say, even though I had you roll a stealth check, since it was so distracted and I rolled for it and it was super distracted, we don't need to worry about that. Make a dexterity check with advantage for me, please, to try and grab as you go down and grab this cage.
Like an acrobatics?
Yeah, or acrobatics, yeah.
Oh. Thank you. For the advantage. Ooh, thank goodness for the advantage. 25.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're able to grab the cage.
Fly back as quickly as I can.
Yeah.
Not to the group, but just
Okay.
like into the trees to hide and open this cage.
Okay. So you head into the trees. Surprisingly.
I leave them with 2 birds. Instead of flipping them off.
Drexlin, after throwing the crowbar, right? That was what it was. Did you go back into hiding?
Yes.
Okay. So as this happens, you see Dacos sweep in, grab the cage, and fly into the trees. The Warforged will, yes, with 2 birds. The Warforged will kind of like look where the crowbar was, and then like look back where the cage was, and be like start looking around frantically. Start looking like in the corners, and we'll even go into like the smaller areas to look. Meanwhile, and I'll come back to see if y'all want to do anything, but Dacos, you get into the trees. And I'm guessing you're landing with the cage?
Yeah, landing and trying to pop this, like put this out.
Okay. How are you putting the fire out?
I'm gonna use if there's any loose sand. I'm gonna use that.
Okay.
Really, I'm just trying to break this thing open and get
Okay.
these foxes out.
All
before they
right.
get too
What are you
hurt.
breaking the cage open with?
Let's take a look.
Dinner.
My crowbar.
Okay. All right.
Nope. Lev, did you say something?
No, I was just humming the rest of those lyrics.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
You go in, and I'm not gonna make you roll a strength check because it's pretty simple lock. Like it's not that difficult to pop it and lock it. And the two foxes, Stephanie. Let's move that.
Ouch.
Okay. One runs out immediately. The other one starts kind of like limps out.
I'll reach in and help it, even if I
Okay.
get a little burned.
So yeah, the one that's limping a bit seems a little bit more like affected or burnt a little bit on its leg. The other one seems fine and like runs out, but then will like stop and like turn and watch you as you're helping the other one.
Edward, come with me. I'll say to the other one,
Okay.
and I'll head back to the group as quietly as I can, see if anyone can. If I make it back there, I'll ask them if they. Can anyone heal this poor creatures? They've both been hurt by the fire, I think.
Yeah, I'll give it a level 1 cure wounds.
Oh, thank you. Oh, there we go.
We gave him a second chance. It's the best we can hope for.
You
Yes.
are able to, I would say, cure it. You can see the burns start to heal up, and it will just kind of being healed will kind of be a little calm at first, Dakos, in your hands, but then we'll kind of like want to try to get away, like
as soon as they're healed, I'll set them down and towards their friend.
Yeah, and we'll kind of like almost leap out of your hand, kind of a little scared, and get out a bit, and they'll both kind of look back.
Stay out of the city, you two. We'll fix things. Just don't get caught again.
The one that you helped will bark at you, and then they'll turn and head into the forest. The Warforged is still looking around the cage. And we'll start to walk back, actually. You'll see it kind of like look out at it almost like, kind of look up at the top of the fence, like it wonders if they just escaped somehow in the cage and like left. And we'll start to just walk back down the path that it came down and back towards where you assume the guards are at the end of it.
Right. It was a mimic. It wasn't a cage of foxes.
All right, let's get the hell out of here.
Idleness. Can you get us back on track? Away from all this. Is there a way around?
We'll kind of like nudge at the baby bear, to kind of follow it, and it will keep leading you around this area.
Thank goodness.
Then it will, after another probably only 20 minutes of walking, getting darker even still, you can see a bit of glowing to your left, like deeper inside the forest. You get to another waterway that's about the size, as wide as a river or a large creek. There is a bridge, what used to be a bridge, leading across this. That's where the bear has kind of taken you. There is a huge gap in the bridge, and it definitely looks dilapidated, and it definitely hasn't been upkept, or everyone make perception checks for me, please. Lev, what did you roll?
I'm very sorry. I'm trying to only use one monitor today, and it's not working very well.
Oh no.
A 7.
Okay, 7. And Dakos?
26.
And Drexlan?
8.
Dacos. You
Nat 20.
to your left, about 30 feet down in the water, you see some rocks that possibly kind of go like in like a shallower part of this waterway that lead from one side to the other. You'd still have to like jump them because they're not like, it's not like an exact path, but you would notice that probably the bridge might be passable, but you'd have to make a jump or swim across. And then also to your right, about 30 feet away, you'll see what looks like the metal walkway that has continued, a different one. That's fenced in about 30 feet. That's going across the water.
Okay.
So 30 feet to your left, you have some rocks going across that you could possibly use. To the right 30 feet, you have that walkway that's fenced in metal.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
That looks like a pain over there. Fence in the way, but we could cross. There's some stones over here that are a bit... You'd have to leap and stick my finger in the water and taste it. As I thought. Troubled water. No, I'm just kidding.
Jeez.
I'm an idiot, sorry.
I'll take some damage for that one.
Yeah. D4.
The water does not taste good, Dacos.
No. Water's a bit foul, which is strange.
You feel a
could
rumbling.
jump the bridge.
Dacos,
My vote is...
Dacos now is a century.
Nice. My vote is I just ferry us across one at a time with prudence. But I know you didn't care for that before, which is fine.
No, that's the smartest idea. I'll go last. Everybody else, go.
All right.
You'll feel a nudge on your leg, Dacos. And it's the bear. Avel will kind of like motion towards the young bear and motion back, like where you came from.
Thank you so much. Truly, you've given us so much and guided us all the way here. I'm so relieved that we happened across perhaps your cub when we did. What? Oh.
I will right into the dirt. It's very slow again. Past buildings. 2 left. Not the number 2. Past buildings and say another line. 2 left.
Oh. Thank you. Please be as careful as you possibly can, Ivel, on your return. I'm sure you will. And go with our thanks. I'll look around for the birds and see if they followed us.
Also, we'll write after 2 left. Look for hedges.
Okay.
You know what, Dacos? I think I might escort Ivel back, just in case. I don't like it out here. These guards know everything.
Yeah. Yes.
So I'll escort them back, and you know where to find me when you guys are done.
Excellent.
And I'll just keep busy. I'll dress up their headstones while I'm there.
That's so kind of you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Best of luck.
And to you. We'll see you soon.
We'll move off with the bear, with Ivel and the cub. Ivel Jr. And, yeah. So Dacos, at least Dacos, Drexlin, and of course Yo and Yabani are here as well, just to clarify. So yeah, you taxi everyone across Dacos on the bridge that are left.
Yeah, I'll go across with you and Yabani first, and then, we'll have Yo, if he's willing to go in the room. I mean, Yo and Drexlin can technically go at the same time and just go half speed.
If I must. Broom
jump.
is
You look like a fine jumper.
broom is so. But it is better than jumping. My legs are tired from the walking.
Yes, it's quite a bit. It's not expecting 2 hours.
It was a long walk. Dacos.
Right, scooch them across. All right, let's head past the buildings up ahead and turn left.
Alright. So you're on the other side of this waterway now. Again, interesting. It's not really moving water. It's calm water. I would say, since y'all have seen it so much, you'd probably liken it to the waters of the canal.
Okay.
And move on in. As you get to the other side of the water and on the other side of this broken bridge over the troubled water, the pathway into this area seems to be maybe a little bit older. Instead of like the buried wooden planks, you see like bits of cobblestone, bits of stone peeking out. They don't seem to be like natural, like stone in the dirt, but like a road of sorts built. You'd probably also see, as you get on the other side of this bridge, that almost like a barrier of sorts, kind of blocking off this area from the area you just came from, is this like kind of a tall hedged wall that seems to be either someone's been taking it down and, taking it out, or forming it. It's unclear. As you continue walking down this road, you come upon a couple of villages that... Why don't the two of you make history checks for me, please?
Just one of us, you said?
But if you want to both do it.
11.
11. And Dacos, what's your history check?
7.
Yikes. Okay, Yvonne, I would say, would be... This looks
Okay,
old,
right.
guys. This looks a
Older
lot.
still?
Yes.
Perhaps an even earlier cycle.
I would say probably maybe around the time of the mounds.
Oh, all right.
And I would say that the two of you would be able to recognize that these houses definitely look, the ones in the other villages didn't look modern, but they, again, like a couple of decades. These look like maybe like a century. Very crude, a lot of stone. And these houses, of course, are hardly there. It's mostly foundation in these areas. To your left, you would notice kind of a couple of more of those glowing butterflies in this area. Seem to be closer to the deeper part of the forest. Let me see here. Let me just double check. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Yeah, and in these two, like, kind of villages that you pass through, and, like, the road kind of goes directly through them, you'd probably see about clusters of, like, 10 to 11 houses per village. Kind of similar to the ones that the clusters that you saw before, just older. Make perception checks as you're passing through, please. Dacos.
Okay.
And Drexlin.
Rolled off an 18. 5. 6.
Okay. And Dacos.
23.
Oh, man. Drexlin.
Just
Not the
having a bad
night.
day.
Not the
Nope.
night. Dacos, you would notice some other crude gravestones outside these houses. As well as just not only gravestones, but I would say around the corner, like towards the back of one of the houses as you're passing it, you kind of glance over and it looks like maybe a few piles of something in the back of this house, like huge piles.
I'm just... Clearly this is from 2 cycles ago. There's lots of gravestones, Jackson, and Giovanni, something in the backyard that has caught my eye. I'm just going to take a peek. I won't... If you want to come with, and I'll just get a little closer to see what's going on in that
I'll
backyard.
follow.
As you get kind of like going between, like everything's overgrown with forest and with almost these weird kind of vines that you don't really see, and the vines almost seem to be coming from the deeper part of the forest that's probably about 50 feet away at this point. They almost kind of trickle in. But as you walk in between these 2 houses and kind of step over these like thick vines, it doesn't take too many steps to be able to see that these are huge piles of pretty much bones at this point.
Oh, this is terrible.
I will say they don't look like, especially Dacos with your high perception check early. I'll just carry it over to now. They don't look human. They look more animal.
Oh, okay. I wonder...
Just, definitely not clean picked either.
Okay. Seems maybe it's a little interesting. The ghost shared that they were still human when they were killed in this cycle. So maybe this is where
Might be an older
they
cycle.
put the first... either an older cycle still, or when the most recent cycle, when they started turning them into animals, maybe they were just like, let's dump them in that old village since we've killed all them already. And we'll stockpile it there. But this is terrible. There's so many dead. This has gotten far more grim than even yesterday.
So many.
Perhaps this library will have
Ah,
some answers.
I will say that you would also notice far less animals on this side since you've crossed over the water with the broken bridge on it. You'll see a bird here and there fly over, but it's mostly quiet.
Checking to see if our birds have followed us as well.
No.
Okay. Well, fuck those birds anyway.
Jesus.
I'm sorry, everyone. Yes, the birds seemed like they were had something to say, but I guess they can't be bothered to fly this far. Oh, I suppose we know what the golems were doing now anyway. Certainly not releasing them to the wild. Only after they were incinerated, I suppose. I left that part out. What is going on in this godforsaken realm of Valmakir?
Good lord.
All right, and we'll say that as you exit out, you pass like 2 or 3 of these like the clusters of houses. Similar setup in all 3 of them. There seem to be maybe a house or 2 that seems to be kind of a holding place for bones, carcasses, that sort of thing. And again, these definitely had some, Jacobs, you would have recognized that they definitely were aged bones. Like, it wasn't anything fresh. As you move out of those, ahead of you, about, you have kind of a broken path that leads off, and you start to see hedges that rise up about 20 feet from the ground. Seem to have some of these vines kind of mixed in with them that seem to be moving in from the deeper part of the forest. And beyond it, beyond the hedges, you seem to peek a little bit of a roof, kind of
Oh,
rising above. And that's why we're in tonight's session.
Yes.
nice.
Perfectly timed.
Perfect,
Perfectly
y'all.
timed.
Jesus.
On the nose.
Okay.
Beautiful.
All right. Well, thank y'all so much, players, and thank you so much, viewers, for hanging out with us this evening. We appreciate y'all so much. Fun announcement. Well, first off, if you haven't followed us, please. We have all kinds of content. We have a Discord server where we, talk about different things. We say good morning almost every morning. So, I mean, who doesn't need that kind of positivity in their life? We also, next week, on the 14th of September, we will have a guest. We're gonna have a guest here on the show, who's role played before. Super excited to have them on. So look forward to that and tune in. That'll be next Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern time here on Madbird Streams. All right. Well, let me throw up the schedule really quick. We have, as I said, we have all kinds of cool stuff. Tomorrow we have, let's see, where's the schedule, Stephanie? Where's the schedule, huh? Oh, there it is. Okay, I was really just overlooking it 5 different times. All right. Yeah, tomorrow we have, usually have Drawing Dan at 1 p.m. Eastern time. Usually have Paint by Minis at 4 p.m. Eastern time. We have more D&D this weekend. In Extremis on Saturday. Probably Obsidian Scar on Sunday at 10 p.m. Eastern time. The Forsaken on Mondays. All kinds of stuff. We have art programs. We have gaming programs. We've been playing Dinkum an unreasonable amount here on this channel recently. So tune in and check it out. All right. Dan, do I need to find someone to read over to?
Well, I actually think of reading a person that's going to be one of our new campaigns. They're live right now. I thought that might be nice.
Oh, get it done. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll read Emily.
All right. So let's read over there. Thank y'all again. Give them a call in the chat, and we'll see you next time for some more Penumbra Assembly. All right. Bye.
Bye.